April is recognized as Organ Donation Awareness Month, and Move for Life Foundation helps patients waiting for organ transplants. And I'm very happy to be joined by Kimberly Berscheid with Move for Life. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me, Abby.
Of course, now Move for Life Foundation started out in Ontario and has recently developed a grant here in Saskatchewan, which is amazing. So, to start, can you talk a bit about the history of the foundation and the story behind it?
Yeah, that sounds great. So the founder, her name is Jillian Best, and she's just this powerhouse athlete and always has been a fantastic swimmer. About 7 years ago, she needed a liver transplant herself and was able to get one and has continued to swim since and very competitively. So she swims to across Lake Muskoka in Ontario and has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for Camp Kavita, which is a fantastic pediatric camp for organ transplant and those awaiting an organ transplant. And we have this great board of other advocates for organ donation, recipients from organ transplants. And it's very focused on just living your best active life post-transplant.
That is incredible. And it's the perfect time to think about becoming a donor and to educate yourself on organ donation. Now, Move for Life recently created the Saskatchewan Family Grant, which is going to help families with the cost of pediatric transplants. This is very exciting, not just for the province, but for the foundation as well. So tell me a bit about this grant and how families can apply.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in Saskatchewan, we have a really great team. I'm actually a donor coordinator on the organ donation side myself, and a fantastic team on the Saskatchewan transplant side. And we were trying to figure out ways to raise awareness and then that's how we were connected with the Move for Life Foundation. So a mutual friend of mine had reached out and said, "Hey, I'm not sure how this connects, but a family of mine is in Edmonton. Their daughter needs a liver transplant. Is there any foundation out there that would, help support them during their months away? Because it's months out of the province, not just for pediatrics, but adults." And I thought, oh, I'm sure I could reach out to somebody. And when I was doing all that research, unfortunately, there's actually a lot of gaps that we had noticed. So that's when we had connected with the Move for Life Foundation. And we said, I think that there's a great opportunity in Saskatchewan here to create a grant to specifically help pediatric transplant recipients as they're receiving out of care hospital services. And we've actually extended that even further. And so if once they're outside, in their homes and recovering, we'll actually help them with medication that isn't covered, physiotherapy, and just expanding it to, again, living their best lives post-transplant. So last fall, we raised over $9,000 and we're able to now start receiving applications May 1st for the grant. And you can find more information on the Move for Life Foundation website. We also have an email specifically for the grant. It's called skgrant@moveforlife.com, and we'll be able to help you out. And the basis is just helping families, regardless of their financial background, just getting a little extra help because it's expensive regardless of your background.
That is fantastic, and it will definitely alleviate some of that added stress that comes with medical issues. Now, as a foundation, if anyone is interested in helping out or just learning more about you guys, how can they do so?
So we have the email. I'm the communications director for the foundation. So I'm happy to receive any interest in helping out with the foundation, different fundraisers we have coming up, or we're also using our platform to share stories of, transplant recipients and how they're living their best lives after. So if you ever want to connect with me, I'd be very happy to do so. My email is communications@moveforlifefoundation.com. We also have our social media and feel free to reach out on there. I also run that and very happy to connect with anyone.
I think Move for Life is a great foundation that will help a lot of families and patients going through organ transplants. So thank you so much for joining me today and sharing about Move for Life.
Thank you so much, Abby.